Good morning. Welcome to Time in His Word. A friend of mine that works up in the oil fields in North Dakota, he sent a picture yesterday of one of the sites he's working on, and it was just nothing but a muddy mess. He said you have to use chains on your wheels to go in. I never knew chains to work in the mud before I went to North Dakota myself and worked, and they do up to a certain point. I always figured chains for just snow, but up there they'll use them in the springtime when the snows start to melt and the sites get muddy. They'll help you from getting stuck, but like I said, only to a certain point, and then after that, they ain't gonna do no good. You have to get towed, or they'll have to use another piece of equipment to move the trucks around on the site to get the jobs done. And he said that's where they were at yesterday. They're almost to the point where they have to use other pieces of equipment to get the trucks moved around on site to get hooked up to do the fracks or whatever they're doing. But can you imagine that much mud where it bogs down a semi that they can't even move? You know, we all know mud gets thick and gooey, and it varies from different regions in the United States. Up there they have the dirt's kind of a red clay, and it clings to anything and everything, and you just can't, like normally when you would drive down the highway, but sling the mud off. Not up there. It'll stick to anything and everything. You almost have to get it washed to get the mud off at times. But have you ever thought about taking that comparison of mud and how it bogs down a truck, and think about all the things in life that weigh you down? From what you worry about day to day, whether it be something that you think needs to be worried about, or it's just something trivial that no matter what you do, it's not going to change the outcome of what's going to happen. And the more we worry about things, and the more we allow it to bog us down, it gets to be like trying to drive a semi in the mud. We got to do whatever we can to get going forward, but when you're weighed down with issues like that, it really affects everything from the way you move about during the day, to your sleep, to everything. But there's ways around that, and we all get to that point, no matter where we're at in our walk in Christ. We get bogged down with just day-to-day struggles and trying to get through the day. Yesterday, for an example, the first truck that was supposed to unload at 7, excuse me, he broke down. So then there was there's a total of 3 of us going there to unload. So I was inside taking a shower, and the other guy, they got a hold of him, so they had him go over early. He wasn't supposed to go to 1 o'clock. They told me to go in at my regular time. My time was 10. I got there at 9:30, and it was going on 1 o'clock before they started unloading me, and I didn't get out of there at almost 4. So I wasted a whole day on site waiting to get unloaded. And part of the problem was the people unloaded me. It was a new building. I had pieces for an elevator, and they would take them off the truck, take them over to the door, and then use floor jacks, not a forklift or nothing, but floor jacks, and then wheel them inside the building somewhere. It was just a slow process, and it was aggravating because I'm just watching time click away, and I missed getting loaded yesterday. So it just, there's things that happen every day in our lives that we just can't prevent, but we've got to learn how to deal with them and not let them bog us down. And yesterday for me, that's a prime example. I hate when things like that happen. I think it was just poor planning on the part of the guys unloading me. I mean, you go in there and you know where you got to put the stuff, and you know the stuff's going to be heavy, but yet you don't do things to make the work easier. And it's the same, like I said, in our life, in our daily struggles. We have to kind of pay attention and think about what we're doing or what's happening take a minute and think about what you're going to do to get through the problem or the issue that is ahead of you. But don't dwell on it. Don't let it bog you down. And I found a couple of verses I think will kind of help you along today. I know from time to time I'll think about a verse just out of the blue and look it up and read it, and it's just what I need for the day. The first one is in Proverbs, the 16th chapter. It says in verse 9, "The mind of man plans his ways, but the Lord directs his steps." And how true that is. We'll come up with these elaborate ideas, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do that, and it's going to do this, and it's going to affect that. When all in all, we forget about that God's in charge. And no matter what plans we lay down, if they're not his plans, they're not going to work. So it's very important that we rely and wait on God as we go through the day for him to lead the way, because he knows what the day's going to turn out to be. And I want to close with Psalms 37, verses 23 and 24. "The steps of men are established by the Lord, and he delights in his way. When he falls, he will not be hurled headlong, because the Lord is the one who holds his hand." I like that last part. The Lord is the one who holds his hand. If he's holding your hand and guiding you through the day, everything's going to be all right.